call to order the Ojai Parks and Recreation Commission meeting for Thursday, December 4th at 6 p.m. Will you call the roll, please, Christine?
Commissioner Tabak-Bank.
Here.
Chair Taylor.
Present.
Vice Chair Intner.
Present.
Commissioner Lear.
Present.
And Commissioner Munich is absent as of
Absent
now.
for now. Yes. And will you please join me for the Pledge of Allegiance? Feel the heater kick. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Okay, and do I have an approval on the minutes as they were presented, or any changes or comments from the last meeting, November 6th?
I think we're on to that yet.
Oh, I'm sorry, approval of the agenda for tonight.
Perfect. I'll move to approve the Parks and Recreation agenda for December 4th, 2025.
And I'll second.
Roll call, or do we have to, can we just do all in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And public communications. I think we have our chief to join us.
So I do have a handout, let me give that to you. Thanks for you.
Thank you.
So,
Thank you.
it's more information.
Oh, great. I've been excited to get this. Thank you.
Thank you. And hand this out to the crowd too, just in case.
Mm-hmm.
Bill, I don't know if you want that.
Thank you.
Actually, if you don't mind, we'll stand.
Sure, of course.
So first off, thank you. Thanks for having me and inviting me. I appreciate that. Steve Jenkins, the Ojai Police Chief here. So first off, what you have in front of you is just, I just want us all to understand what e-bikes are, right? And then the difference between the e-bikes and electric motorcycles. So e-bikes, you have your class 1, 2, and 3. And by the way, laws are always changing because this is all kind of new. Everyone's trying to figure this out. So this could be all changed by next year. But as of now, your class 1s are typically just kind of like a bicycle with a, but has that, motor that helps, but it's pedal assist. It doesn't go more than 20 miles an hour, no throttle, no age limit. It's treated like a bicycle. Anyone can ride those. Your class 2, or more like you do have your pedal assist still. It maximum is 20 miles an hour, no age limit, but it does have a throttle. You could just use a throttle to ride the bike. But again, the key is the 20 miles an hour. It doesn't go faster than that. And then it's treated like a regular bicycle. Like your class 3, that's really kind of where you bump it up a notch, where it's pedal assist still. It doesn't require, so if it has a throttle only, then that's a criteria you want to look at. But the class 3 goes 28 miles an hour or under. If it goes over that, it's now an electric motorcycle. Okay, then you should be 16 riding the class 3s, and then of course helmets for all these categories really, but mostly for the class 3. So really, what we're looking at is the speed of the bicycle or electric motorcycle. And then if it gets into electric motorcycle category, then now it should be a licensed vehicle, just like a golf cart or just like a motorcycle, a dirt bike. I compare them to dirt bikes. They should, if you want them on the streets, to be able to ride them on the streets on a public roadway, they should be licensed, insured. You should be 16, understanding the rules of the road, and have a driver's license. Does that make sense? I mean, that should be kind of common sense. But believe it or not, we're seeing bikes out there going 50 miles an hour. They're driving on the sidewalks. It's dangerous, and the kids are thinking this is just a bicycle. Parents are thinking it's just a bicycle. No, if it goes 50 miles an hour, that's not a bicycle. So I'm trying to change the narrative It's not an e-bike, that's an electric motorcycle. Because to me, an e-bike is a bicycle, okay? So with that said, we do, I did want to kind of cover, since September 1st, we've had 11 calls for service on e-bike related or electric motorcycle related calls in the city. You know, we're just talking city, we're not talking county areas. And it's all mostly traffic related, people just seeing them do wheelies or dangerous stuff. Few of them were sidewalk related, you know, they're driving really fast on a sidewalk. And we've had one or two where people are getting bumped, you know, by the electric motorcycle. And what I'm finding, I'm kind of finding a common link, because what motivates someone to call us? You know, it's got to get a certain threshold, right? What we're finding is that common link is the kids are just being disrespectful when the parents or the adults do confront them. They're getting this very disrespectful response back from the kids, and that's kind of what's prompting them to call us. Because, you know, it's one thing if you tell a kid, "Hey, slow down," and the kid, "Oh, I'm sorry," you know, versus, you know, the middle finger, and I mean, all of a sudden now they're getting us involved. Does that make sense? So strategy. Oh, and I would tell you, there's someone in the room here that won't like this call for service, but just today we had a call for service of an e-bike, electric motorcycle, that was racing through on the bike trail and ran over a dog. And it was while the person was walking the dog on a leash. Very disturbing. The person stopped for a moment and then kept going, and that's a hit and run. Dogs are property. Dogs are, you know, under the law. A little informational. I don't know the difference. I don't know why. Cats are not property. Dogs are. No. Not that we all want to run over cats, but
Well, because cats aren't required to be on a leash, so they're
Okay,
not
so-
under the control of the owner.
but a dog, if you hit a dog, you're hitting property. You're supposed to stop, try to find that owner, because you're now have hit property, someone's property, and you need to make the proper notification. So anyways, this person kept going, so now he is wanted for a misdemeanor hit and run, and then, you know, we could do like you know, animal endangerment type charges too. So but that's now an open investigation that just occurred today, this afternoon. So we are having issues with e-bikes, you know, in the city.
I have a question.
Yes.
When I was growing up, my recollection is, so far as I can have any recollection, and I had a bicycle, we had to have a license. We had to have a license plate on the back of our bicycle. When did they stop doing that?
Yeah, we don't do that now. License,
Yeah.
require bicycles to be licensed. I think it just became too taxing, because like if you're going to do any kind of enforcement or like record keeping, you need money behind that. You need funding behind that. You need people to do that. So I think that's what went away, is that funding and
Might be easier to do it with just e-bikes. Except
yeah,
everything's an e-bike.
Yeah,
today.
again, you're gonna still need some kind of record keeping. You need some administration. Then you need enforcement behind that, and just, you know, sometimes that takes away from other priorities in the city. But I hear you. I'm for it. Does the city have funding for that? So, go ahead.
Sorry. So when people call and you guys are working on enforcement, have you had much success? I mean, it's such a hard, everything happens so fast, like even with that.
Yeah, so what's very difficult is and what I'm trying to advocate for is, if you see dangerous e-bike or electric motorcycle riding, please take a video of it.
Okay.
Take a photo, so now we know what the person looks like. It's not always kids, you know, sometimes they're 18, 19, sometimes they're 25. You know, I mean, it's not always kids. But I say take a video of it, take a photo, and that's what helps us identify people. But telling us it's an all-black bike with full-face helmet, I hope you can see the challenge in trying to identify someone like that. So that's where I'm trying to say, hey, I'm glad you guys I want everyone to report them, but I need a little more help on trying to identify them.
I do have a question. On our new bike path in front of Nordoff, because I pick up from there and drop off twice a day, what class is permitted on that stretch? Like on the sidewalk is the actual bike path in front of Nordoff.
Yeah, so because the sidewalk is considered the bike path, then all the way up to class 3, yeah, so.
Oh, even class 3 can be.
Yeah, because it's considered the sidewalk, or the bike path, does that make sense? Isn't it,
Is the
it's,
bike
it,
path-
is it the designated bike path? I'm trying to,
Yeah, it's
trying to remember
if
what
you haven't
section
been
it-
there during pickup or drop off, especially afternoon exchange, you should go and observe it.
Yeah, I
It's
think I
pretty
will.
crazy.
Okay.
And I think that it's not clear who can ride on it and how fast they can go because there's no signs.
okay.
And I think it's designated for class 1 and 2, but if class 3 can go on it, then that adds
Okay.
like a whole nother element. But it's really dangerous, and the kids are, I think,
Presence might be helpful.
well, there's already been some accidents there.
Yes.
And
Let-
it's 2 ways.
Yeah, let me look into that because,
Because the traffic on that stretch,
yeah,
the bikes can go in both directions. So like when, in the afternoon, when you're coming from Vaughn's and you're traveling on, would that be north, and you want to turn into the parking lot, you actually have to look where you're not expecting bikes to be to turn into it. So
Yeah.
I just was curious if the department was aware of that hazard, and
you're
it's,
bringing up a good point. So we're gonna have to dig a little bit deeper into that. So let me get back to you on that. But I will tell
I
you.
actually would like to have this on calendar, because I think there's a lot of people, like, so right now we're under public comments, and we're so thankful to have the information, but I do think that there's a lot of citizens that would love to engage with you, and so maybe we can, tonight they'll be watching or can read the minutes about the kind of just the public presentation, but can we get it on agenda as an actual item so that they can come and ask their questions? I think it would be incredibly helpful, because we're really limited on what we can do during public
Okay,
comments, yeah.
okay.
I
No,
mean, and the
absolutely.
whole reason we want to agendize it is so they know to expect it, and then they'll come to our
Okay,
meeting.
that'd be great. That's good.
But
Okay.
we'd like to hear certainly more what you have for
Perfect.
tonight.
And then I'm getting close to closing. So basically, our strategy for e-bikes, and I tell this to parents. I said, look, I'm a parent of 4 kids. You know, I used to ride bikes when I was a kid. If you were to ask me, hey, do I want 6 boys in a room playing video games, or do I want them out on the e-bikes, you know, riding around? I'm going to tell you, I want them on e-bikes. Like, I mean, they should be out having fun, socializing, having a good time. So I hope you know I'm not against e-bike riding, okay? What I'm against is the disrespectful riding, not following the rules of the road, and then beefing up these bikes to where they're now electric motorcycles, and they should not be driven on the sidewalks. They should be at least adhering to the rules of the road, even though they shouldn't even be on the road in the first place. You know, so that's what I'm advocating for. You know, just ride safely, but do it right too. You know, ride an actual e-bike, not an electric motorcycle. You
Like
know,
I think they, like the Surons are a
Yeah,
motorcycle,
yeah.
or the
yeah, but if you ask them, they're still, no, that's an e-bike.
I think it's quite a topic, because
Yeah,
they're they're marketed, right, to young teenagers, and they're not required to be registered, so the parents don't even really know what, unless they do extensive research, it's difficult. I mean, you see them for sale on Facebook all the time, and there's just no regulations on them.
Yeah.
So that's why I
So-
think it would be a really great topic I think that the parents would really like to hear what your perspective
Yeah,
is and how to
perfect.
keep their kids safe. I think it would just be a really great safety topic.
Good. And then, so the strategy that we've put in place is education first. So what I told the officers, if you contact a kid for the first time on a e-bike or electric motorcycle, the strategy is you call the parent, get them on scene, educate the parent on why it's illegal, you know, so you can have a face-to-face conversation about it. And then, of course, you're telling the kid. And then say, hey, we're giving you a break, you know, put this bike in the car, can't ride it home, no tickets at this point, but if I see you again on it, you know, I can cite you, I can tow the bike, and then we can actually cite the parent too, because you're allowing your child to ride an illegal vehicle on the street, that's a misdemeanor. So, anyways, we're trying that. Now, I have one story of I guess the mom didn't believe us. We have body camera footage. We are, we're being transparent, and we told the parent this, educated them. For some reason, they didn't believe us. The very next day, see the kid on the same electric motorcycle, call the mom over, give the kid a ticket, give mom a ticket, tow the bike, and mom's screaming at us, going, "Why are you doing this?" I'm like, "We just told you yesterday, your kid is not supposed to be on that bike, And then it was about a week later, the officer sees the same kid, but now riding a mountain bike. So it is working. Just know that we're not trying to upset parents. We're not, we understand quality of life. We want kids to be kids. But at the same time, if we're telling you something's illegal, please listen to us and change your behavior.
And that's where I hope we can help, because I think that needs to go.
I don't know that a lot of
broader reach
yeah,
to
I agree.
parents to do education and have some good materials to hand out that are
Yeah.
really clear. And then, because I thought that you could only go on this bike path with class 1 and 2, like the county.
Sorry, that is class 1 and 2. Yes.
Okay, all
Yeah.
right. So this
I
class
apologize
3
if I misspoke.
isn't allowed. There.
No.
Okay.
So it's right here. Class 1 and 2 allowed on roads, bike lanes, most bike paths.
Okay.
Class 3 allowed on roads and bike lanes,
Lanes. Okay.
prohibited on bike paths.
Okay.
So,
And think about it, because they're going too fast.
Yeah.
They're just 28 miles an hour is too fast.
Yeah.
When you're talking about pedestrians, an aging population, animals, little children, little children riding little bicycles. Think about 28 miles an
I walk on the bike
hour.
path at least once a week, and
Yeah.
it's really interesting because a lot of the people who are on electric bikes are they slow way down, they're really great, but then you'll have a few that just
Yeah.
right by.
You don't, they
You just-
surprise
it's a-
you.
Yeah, it's a little.
Where I'm confused is if in front of Nordhoff, if that's considered a bike lane, and for some reason the bike lane goes onto the sidewalk and it's a bike lane, well, then class 3 is allowed.
They're allowed,
'Cause it's a bike
okay.
lane. That's different than a bike path.
And I think that signage is lacking. I really do. I don't know who's in charge of that. And I also don't know what the green stripe is at El Roblar. And when you pull up there, I'm not really sure where to stop. So I don't know if you could look into that when you're over there, because as a, driver, my daughter just got her permit tonight, and she asked me where we're supposed to stop, and I honestly don't know, because it's a bike path literally to nowhere. It's a big green stripe right before the limit line, and I honestly don't know where, as a driver, I'm supposed to stop, because where is the bike going to go if it's there? I don't know where it's going to go to, because it dead ends at the curve. So I don't know if it's a design flaw, or if it's the Caltrans or the city. I'm not really sure who's responsible, but I know I would like some clarification, and I'm sure I can't be the only one that's confused about that. I really don't know the answer.
Okay.
So that would be helpful, and I'd like to know what kind of, it would be nice to, when we get asked who can ride on the bike path, yeah, and I think if you go and look, you'll see that when the bikes are going in two directions in front of Nordhoff and cars are ingressing and egressing off of that property, there's no yield signs for the bikes to stop or the cars to yield. There's no indication as to what's supposed to happen. It's really confusing, and there's so many kids that ride on it. It makes me nervous.
Okay, good.
This is a great start to just even have
Yes.
this.
Yep.
Yes, I
Beginning of
think
the
we would get a
discussion.
lot of traction if we could get, maybe for like February, if we could get an actual
Okay.
agendized topic, it would be really great.
Okay.
And it would also, once there's presentation materials and, I think some good handouts about yeses and nos, I think it'd be great to be able to, maybe
I
you guys can
agree.
get into the schools.
Yep.
Because I think a lot of people are just very unaware about the whole issue.
So I'll tell you a quick little story. We are working with the schools because they're using e-bikes or
Yeah.
electric motorcycles also to go to and from school, which creates a problem with the schools, right? So just today I was at Nordhoff High School and I asked the principal, I said, "Hey, can I check out where people store their bikes
Bike
for the
cage.
day?" I go over there and I'm like, whoa. and the principal, see the problem we have? I'm like, yeah, I see it. So the plan is We're gonna go probably after school one of these days and, wait for all the kids to get there, collect their bike, their illegal bike, and then we're gonna have a conversation, call the parent over, do all that thing. And no citations on school camp. I'm not playing that game, but just at least we can do that educational piece with the kids actually using
Great.
the bikes at school. So just, it's, if you take anything away from this, is I'm heavy on education at first until I feel like everyone kind of knows the rules now, and then we'll start getting into enforcement, so.
Makes sense.
So far as knowing the rules are concerned, could you create a brochure that what the do's and don'ts are, a simple brochure that we could have at the schools and also at the bike shops, so that when a person purchases one of these, they get it and suggest it goes to the parents? I think a brochure of the do's and don'ts would be very helpful.
That's a good idea. Okay, I like that.
Okay?
Thank you for coming.
Okay, thank you.
That would
Thank
be
you.
really
Okay.
helpful when you encounter a parent too, and you can hand them
Yeah.
very nice. Thank you for coming. Oh, great, thank you. Okay, and I have one more public speaker, Larry Steingold. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Good evening. Larry Steingold, resident. I wasn't going to speak, but I was at the library when the officer came in, and we directed him. I was at Twice Told Tales, so we sent them back to the library. And, I mean, to run over a dog in Ojai, this person has a problem, because they'll do more. Anyway, aging population, thank you for the compliment. As we all are aging. The bike path, I'm on a bike. When I stop on a bike, I'll be going to a golf cart. I'm not going to an electric bike, because they scare the hell out of me, right? I don't mind the wheelies on Pleasant. There's nobody on Pleasant. The guys, he gets going down the street, wear a helmet, don't care. But how about if the Park and Rec Commission put it on the agenda to urge the city council to require liability insurance on all these bikes? Because if I was the school, if I was OUSD, and there were illegal bikes on the property, I think I'd be a little concerned. Just a question, okay? But maybe, because maybe it would help. At least makes everybody aware that, hey, you're paying $300 a year, or whatever the number is, and that's to protect you, not to protect you, but that's to pay the person who, anyway. So that's that. Cameras on the Park and Rec property that is probably considered the bike path. I don't know if we maintain it as. I'm not sure which department, but maybe you would urge the city council by a vote to have cameras on the bike path at eye level, not at an angle that nobody can see a face, right? Just because I'm on the bike path, and that people of all ages, some older than me, a lot younger, don't yell. By the time they yell on your left, they're past you, and you don't hear them. And I don't wear a headset. I wear bone induction head, so I hear things. These things come in.
Quiet.
Well, they're not knobby tires. They're just and the bike path is not dirt anymore until the next rain. But that's the point. I mean, this is not, to me, rocket science. It's education, because you got to educate them, and then you have to lead them, and then you may have to enforce, right? And it's the carrot, the stick. It's the velvet fist. It's like, listen, do it the right way. We don't want to take your bike. We don't want to take your parents. Come on. We don't want you to kill somebody. We don't want you to hurt. So anyway, he's got the right idea. The chief has the right idea. Educate, and then make your point. And if we see you on an illegal bike again and again and again, mom and dad are coming in, or somebody's coming in. Anyway, thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for that. Okay, and let's see. 8. Speak on. Okay, and any other, yes, Bill? I did, but not for public comment. Did you want to talk? I have, for number 8? Oh, I see. Okay, but it's not, okay, that's okay. Please join. Kind of an off-the-cuff public comment, that's okay. I think it gives us a good indication that we need to.
Hi. My life started out with a bike accident. And we lived in San Mateo, and the school was on a hill. In the third or fourth grade, I'd ride my bike up and down. No batteries, but the battery was the downhill grade.
Yes.
You just let it go, right?
My scar shows.
And one day, someone hit the back of my bike, and it tumbled, and I was told I was unconscious for a couple hours. So that's kind of started. But I ended up riding bikes. Not motorbikes, but, it's kind of, okay. So I have a couple of questions that were generated while listening to the chief. One was, do we have many problems from adults in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s riding e-bikes? That's the question, okay? How do you tell a class 3 bike from a class 1 and 2 bike? Maybe we should have big signs saying, class 3, got oiled. Okay. How many bikes do we estimate are used to get to the schools in the Ojai Valley? And what percentages are they? 1, 2, 3? And that would give us a total of the number of bikes going to school.
In each class, you're
Seems to-
saying, Bill? Like, you're saying how many in each class?
Yes.
Okay.
Also, it seems to me that maybe if we had repeated messages going to students about this at the beginning of each year, or maybe twice a year, through the city council or the student council at OUSD, to do a culture education program, peer-to-peer. So if the student council truly adopted the rules and the moral behavior and the respect for others, and the recreation department once or twice a year had an opportunity for kids to show off. Like, wow, I get to do wheelies in the parking lot at Nordhoff or something like that, legally. Okay. Maybe they wouldn't do it on the city streets. It would seem to me if I were one of them, I would want to do it to show my skill and to impress others and to give the finger to the adults who tell me what not to do, something like that. So I think that's a really good idea, is to get the student council involved and do peer-to-peer stuff. That's it.
Thank you, Bill. I think Chief's taking some notes, so maybe he can include that in our next presentation. Okay. Thank you again for that. Let's see, we'll move on to our consent agenda. I believe we just have, this is like duplex, it's very confusing, Christy.
It's
Okay.
a flip instead of.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have minutes for the November 6, 2025 meeting. Any suggestions, corrections, or changes?
Motion to approve. Move to approve.
I second.
Any discussion? No? All approved?
Aye.
Aye. Thank you. And we have a presentation for our, from a contractor or staff on our new activity guide. Yes, Brianna?
Good evening, Commissioners. My name is Brianna Solis. I am one of the coordinators with this city's Park and Recs Department. Tonight, I'm excited to share with you our 2026 Winter and Spring Activity Guide. I put one in front of you guys there. We have a wonderful lineup of programs and events this season. To start off our winter season, our holiday trolley light tour begins on December 12th. We have multiple dates going on Fridays and Saturdays and some Sundays. I'm happy to report that it's also full.
Oh, excellent.
So, yes, it's going to be really great. Our first annual was last year, and this is our second annual. We expanded it. So this season, we're introducing several new classes for all ages. For our youngest participants, we have brought on a Baby and Me music class. This class has been requested by many moms and dads for their babies to learn some music, so that's going to be a good one. We also have a new program called Little Gardeners, so they will be gardening in outdoor garden bins. And we also have started a teen drop-in soccer night. That's going to start in March, every Thursday. It's going to be giving our teens a fun and active space to connect with each other. For our adults, we're adding an Earth Arts class. We've had it for our youth, but now we're going to have it for our adults. And a writing course as well, so a creative writing course for the adults. Along with new opportunities to stay active through our co-ed soccer league, so that will be out at Sarasota Park. And we've also brought back our tennis league for adults and a men's basketball league.
Nice.
Alongside these new additions, we continue to offer all the great youth, adult, and senior programs that our community knows and loves. So we haven't cut anything, we've just added. We also have 2 exciting events planned this spring. On April 25th from 10 to 12, we'll be hosting our Little Olympians event for children ages 6 and under. This event is our playful nod to the upcoming Winter Olympics, and will feature obstacle courses and hands-on activities set up by our staff and our contractors. So there'll be Skyhawks and Terry from Mindful Movements, and we'll also put some stuff on as well. Then on May 23rd, from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m., we'll hold our annual open house, which is my personal favorite. This is a wonderful event for the community to explore our programs, meet our contractors, and experience firsthand everything that Recreation Department has to offer. Registration is now open for all classes, and we look forward to another fantastic season of community engagement. Commissioners, would you have any questions for me?
Your lineup of classes look amazing. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
I have a question.
Sure.
Why do you only have a writing class for women?
That is what the current contractor is offering. We're going to see how this class goes and then possibly expand in the future.
So women get writing and the men get basketball. Okay.
For now. And soccer.
Soccer.
Soccer, okay.
Our soccer league is actually, it says
Oh, that's co-ed.
it's co-ed, but it's actually open. So we don't have co-ed in the book. It doesn't say co-ed, but it's open for everyone.
I will just give a plug to the All Good Driving School. Bryn passed her permit test tonight after going through that course, so it was very
Seen that.
thorough and easy, user-friendly, and $40 to get their 30-hour required certificate for them to take their DMV test. So
They have been contractors with us for quite some time.
yeah, I had no idea until I stopped into, I don't remember how it even came up. I think we were looking for one, and so it was really easy, and I think they did a great job. So
Thank you so much. That's great to hear.
and the brochure is beautiful.
Thank you.
Good job.
We all put a lot of love into it.
It shows.
Thank you.
It's very nice. Thank you, Brina.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and moving into our discussions, recommendations, and action items, we have our Sarasota Park projects with a recommendation to discuss current and the proposed capital improvement projects related to the Sarasota and identified priority projects. And I think we all should have a copy of that. Thank you, Sage. Christy, do you want to start us off on that?
So last month, our Public Works Director, Lindy Palmer, gave a presentation on the 5-year CIP. We have certain projects in there that are or pertain to our Parks and Recreation Department. So that is what is listed in here. And it looks like you wanted to speak about what might be a priority and how the list goes. So we have them all printed here.
Is there a staff preference on priority? Do we have,
No. Just what was talked about last month. And I believe we have the years written out.
And some of it, the priority being based on the availability of grant funding now, correct?
Which is the playground,
Budget as well.
for sure.
so we'll look at year one, is that what, for tonight's prioritizing the 200,000, for example, for the playground? For
So-
2026, because this year's already done, right?
This is, yes. Well, I think these are the things that are on there, and like the discussion is, there's like, there's the outdoor workout gym, but I think one of the things we discussed is on the master plan, there's a path, and they have those elements spread out around the whole park with the perimeter path, so I think, and they have got something on here as an idea, but I think it's a good time to discuss how we'd like to shape those ideas and the recommendations we'd have from that. And so I'd like to see us, instead of just putting in something really quickly for the exercise equipment, I'd rather see us do a bigger project that is on the current master plan, and really would, the path would be lovely to be able to walk around the entire park and then put the exercise equipment there. So I think if that's something we're all interested in, we should put forward that that's the kind of project we're looking for. And
Sooner
it
the
will
better.
take more allocation of budget, but there's always potential to allocate more money, possibly now, possibly next year. But if we put out there what we're looking for.
PK3, you're saying to look at the whole plan right now?
Or as we're looking at these projects. So for me, I think it would be, I really prefer that we do not just an outdoor workout gym, but integrate it into the bike path.
Yes.
Or, sorry,
Or
not
the
the bike path,
path,
the path
yes.
around the park, to do both of those as one project. So that's something that I would rather do that than do, just the exercise equipment plopping it somewhere in the park right now.
Right.
And not that it wouldn't be thoughtful, but that it would be, it
Yes,
would
you
bring a
don't-
lot more.
Right, so you don't have to move it, do it once.
Yes, do it once.
Efficiency.
Well, if I'm reading correctly, so we have the 200,000 for the new playground. This is for the upcoming year, right, Christy? Okay.
Yes.
And then 50,000 for the workout gym. And those are the only two for Sarasota.
Correct. I think, and everything was already on the books. Originally, what I think we wanted as an agenda item for this was to talk about the CIP, not just Sarasota, but it morphed into Sarasota.
Right,
and we'll
but
do
if we
Sarasota
just do it
tonight.
one at a time, because we can, yes, just for Sarasota.
I know,
for
and that
tonight.
was
Yeah,
not
you're
the
right,
intention.
correct.
The intention was to discuss the whole CIP for parks, so that we could get a bigger picture of everything, not just Sarasota, but that isn't what we've agendized, so.
Correct.
We will talk about Sarasota Park, and we can bring it back again to discuss the entire CIP as it, in regards to Parks and Recreation, and all the parks facilities and parks lands. So I think the things tonight to talk about is, I would like to recommend that we use their $50,000 to get started on doing the entire bike path, or the entire, sorry, I kept saying bike path, walking path around Sarasota with the play equipment or the adult exercise equipment.
Doesn't the adult exercise equipment need the path to be done? Isn't it on the path?
In the plan it is, but you could just pick a spot and put in adult exercise equipment, and that's what I think this was, that was the plan with this.
Oh, I didn't understand the way that she described it. To me, what I pictured was the park down on the avenue where you have an actual path and off that path there is, so maybe we need to get clarification, because I would agree, it would seem funny to not do the path and just place random workout equipment and.
Throughout,
Yeah, no, we were definitely looking at doing it on a path,
okay,
for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, so it would be updating, the playground, which is what we have the grant for, so we want to move as soon as possible. And that grant would also cover a walking path if we did, and, workout equipment as well along the path.
well, and then
So-
back to the playground budget, that is not a sufficient amount of money to do both playgrounds. So that's what's in there, but I think it's, so right now we have 200,000 to plan and to, put together this ad hoc committee and really get started at digging in. And, you know, the survey plays into
Yeah.
this and all the things we're working on tonight, but I just think that it should be really clear that that isn't enough.
Not
Because it's both age park, it's, playgrounds are divided typically into the younger kids and then the older kids. And so that isn't a sufficient amount to do both of those
For-
areas.
But wait, I think looking at year one, that's 200, that would be.
Not even with the 550.
Okay, that's what I was saying, like, by the
Yeah.
time you plan for this year, it's really not gonna be
Oh,
spent. So
But we have-
550 for Sarasota Park, you don't think that's enough, or
No.
that would be split?
It's
No,
not enough for the playground,
playground equipment?
yeah. Or, well, the whole, you know, to basically plan it,
Oh, for the whole,
design it,
yes,
and
right.
build it, right.
And in addition to the 550, is there any other additional grant money, or was it your understanding they were supposed to do it all for 550?
No, there's grant money of 750,000.
In addition to
total.
the 550
No, total.
total?
Mm-hmm. So I also just finished applying for a grant that could possibly match that. So that's in the works right now. I won't hear back
Match
until
which
about
amount?
March for that.
On our old CIP, we had money sources, and it was so helpful. Remember how we had
To-
the grant money in there? We had the CIP general fund
I
money in there?
think that's what Lindy spoke about last time.
Well, no, but as a document.
Oh, I
you can
see.
See it.
bring back our document
Because it
from
says
before.
total project cost 550 for the planning and for year one and year two. And then in addition to the 550, you're saying we have another 200,000. But how long, what year does that need to be spent in, the 200?
By 2027.
Yeah, it's, because, I mean,
I think 750 should be getting us closer, so the funding, it sounds like, is there, though.
maybe, yeah. Well, and there's other grants that you're going after. Okay, as long as but that's where it's confusing, because we
Yeah.
used to have a document that had all of the funding sources for every project. So we would have an understanding of where it was coming from. So I have it, do you have it? I think we have it in our record.
I'd have to look.
Also
I'm
look,
not sure.
but
yeah.
maybe we could bring that back for our own benefit.
It would be interesting to see the cost then and now, because even now thinking
It's
like,
different.
I couldn't pull out of my
Very-
head what things cost now.
Yeah.
No,
Like
it's
having
gonna
to
be-
actually have
big
things
difference.
pulled
I mean,
out.
50,000 for the path, is that even, that just sounds like not very much. Concrete's, it's a concrete path, right?
It
that's
doesn't
not
have to be.
decided.
Oh,
Yeah.
not decided yet, okay.
There's different
Could be,
materials.
what is,
so-
the park down in Ventura, is that DG? Is that
Are you thinking Kellogg?
Kellogg? That's what I'm thinking. Is
Yeah.
that DG?
I'm not sure,
I'm not sure either.
because some of the, well,
I
and
see a lot,
DG is
there's a
more
lot
than
of
one thing.
concrete.
Some of
Um,
it is mixed, some of it isn't permeable, but looks like DG a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, I'd have to go look. It just seems like that's not very much, but I really think that those two items are gonna be a great benefit, so.
Okay, no, well, so, I mean, obviously playground, yes, absolutely. I think get the ad hoc committee going and start working with Lindy.
Yes.
And those are the items that are in Sarasota Park. that have planned projects for.
Do any of the commissioners have any opinions on identifying a priority one over the other? Or is it something that are going to be done simultaneously? What are the staff thoughts on that?
I think that definitely it would be what we have the grant for, which would be the playground. I don't want to lose that. So as long as we could just get started on doing that, coming up with a design, coming up with a plan, and then we can decide the details. But I am in contact with different people regarding that, so.
When COVID happened, we had actually been meeting about the playground at that point.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Lindy and we
Okay.
actually they had got some presentations from various different playground providers, so.
Oh, yes.
There's a start already for the
There
playground.
is already a start, yes.
It's just a matter of getting moving.
Mm-hmm, yeah. And, you know, with this grant funding, it would probably be a smaller scale than what we have originally planned, like in the master plan and things. But whatever we can do to at least update the playground, get the walking path, get some workout stations, I think would be great.
I'm just gonna put up the
Yeah.
upfront that I don't think we're downside. I don't think that's where we should start on this project. We start with what we absolutely would be the best solution for that space, for that park.
Mm-hmm.
And then we move from there, and if we need to find funding, we go look for funding. But I don't wanna start with a scaled back idea just from the beginning. Just, let's not, I don't wanna go in the assumption that we can't get there to what we'd ideally like and just do something.
Or you create a design that you could always add
Build
in.
onto.
Yeah.
That you could phase
Correct.
one,
But that we
phase two.
start really trying to
Yes.
put together the plan for what, as an ideal playground for
Mm-hmm.
that location. Because people have been waiting a long time, because when we
Yes.
did Libby, there was already a desire to do Sarzodi when that happened.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we got close, and then COVID came, things
Yep.
pulled way back, so.
What year was Libby redone?
17. Mhm.
Maybe? I'm not certain
Huge
of
community
that.
project too. It was
Yeah.
very well received and a lot of community help went into
it was-
building that.
Do you know what would you call them, things are going to be in the playground for the kids?
Oh, there's so many different ones. So when we get to our next items,
Okay,
there are some questions in there that have to do
Great.
with that.
I think,
So our priorities are the playground.
and I think the priority for the path would be just exactly as Brenda was saying, is to start at a point where we're not putting it out like in the middle, that it's a natural path from somewhere. Not like the bike lane where it just goes, it like stops
yeah,
and
no, no.
nowhere.
It would
Like,
go around.
And then we can, if
go
we're gonna have to
around.
do it in phases, if the 50,000 doesn't cover that, we could start at a place that's, a natural starting point and build on it.
I imagine from looking at the plan that you all created in the past, part of that path goes through where the parking lot would be, so we would have to do that later anyway.
Modify it, yeah.
Yeah.
Because I don't think now the plan
Parameter.
is to get rid of the parking lot. I think they
No.
want to keep it.
Yeah.
So the master plan's sort of outdated in that way, is outdated. Okay. So the rest of the information, we'll bring back on a future agenda to talk about other parks. Tonight was just about the Sarasota and discussion on what we're doing, so thank you for clarifying that. Our next item is the community survey, also for the playground at Sarasota. Oh, yes. Oh, I'm sorry, I have some speaker cards. I'm sorry, Bill, please come up. I'm sorry, I had it marked right here.
Hi. If I'm going to come, I'm going to get my 2 cents in.
Yes, please, take all your time.
This is on remodeling Sarasota Park. Just some thoughts.
Just on the capital improvement that we have scheduled right now, that we were prioritizing them, but yes.
Well, here's some thoughts on the handouts
Yes.
that you made. On the one that shows the new playgrounds in the north part of the park, this project will, quote, this project will provide 2 playgrounds at Sarasota Park to accommodate children of all ages. That seems to bothers me a little bit because teenagers and preschoolers, I wouldn't think would get along very well. Teenagers are active, they may throw things around, they yell and whatever, have a good time. And little kids are kind of wandering in, they're sliding, they're going to their moms or their dads or what. I would raise the issue that you really should look at the details of the various kinds of, quote, playgrounds and see whether they're compatible or whether there's a risk there involved. I don't think I'd want my 4-year-old or 7-year-old in amongst teenagers nearby if they're throwing balls around or whatever. Okay. Second thought is the half-court basketball, good idea. But what about, have you considered handball court? Could a handball court back up to a half basketball court? The restroom remodel, I think, is at Libby Park, but I want to make a comment about the restroom in the north, north of the Boys Center. As I walk by there and look into those 2 entrances, they look really foreboding. They look dark and sort of cave-like and scary. Maybe when you get inside, they're different, but it would seem to me there needs more light.
Which ones, Bill?
This is the restrooms north of the Boyd Center.
Near the
Over by
picnic
the-
areas?
Like over in the
Over
corner.
by the picnic areas that
Okay.
are covered, yeah. I don't know, they just seem like, I don't want to go there. Maybe that's just me. Okay. Let's see, and I guess that's all. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thank you, Bill. Sorry I skipped you. moving on to our community survey for the Sarasota Playground. So we are going to review the draft of the community survey with the questions that were developed by staff to just clarify and get feedback.
Yes, so I created these questions. Some of them, certain portions came from our last survey. I do get a lot of comments from public that come into the Recreation Department, so I also included some of that information in some of the questions.
What page is that? Okay, it's at the very back,
Oh, yeah, yeah,
and then you have to flip it.
there we go.
Yeah.
This is difficult to navigate.
I know.
Yes.
We'll have it flipped
Not really a
we'll have it
fan.
flipped the other way next time.
Christy, remind me, when you all did the
So it
survey
starts
last
with
time, was it
Oh, okay.
Survey
That's
Monkey,
administrative
Google
report. Got
Form,
it.
what was the, or is it?
You know what? I don't know what it was, but this is Survey Monkey.
Okay.
So if we put it out now, it would be Survey Monkey.
I believe
Yeah.
it was Survey Monkey, but there was also paper
Okay.
for those who wanted to do it that way,
Options.
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
It's hidden in the back of the packet.
I don't think the whole packet is out there,
No.
unfortunately. We could quickly make some photocopies.
Can you copy a couple of
I can
those,
make
please,
you a
Christie?
copy.
Yeah, she's gonna make
Just
some
the
copies.
draft questions. I think these are out of order.
It's hard to, yeah. So that's 1 and 2, that's the first page. You need to flip it.
But there's a memo.
And then 3, 4, and 5. And then 6 through 9. And the memo is on the
Okay,
back
okay.
of
But that's the memo for
previous-
another agenda topic.
Here it is right here. It's on the back side of that one.
Packet, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, I got it.
The backside.
So this packet, the
Oh,
last of
okay.
the
Last of the previous,
previous,
sorry, we're working
Got
through
it.
it.
and it says review
Hopefully.
community survey. Yeah,
It's
no
very
more
confusing.
double-
Minded.
Right here,
Oh, too easy.
yeah. And then it should, yes,
Ah,
and
yeah.
then go into the questions.
Got it.
Yes, yes, there we go. Now I've lost my agenda.
Which is in the front. So flip this back over to the very beginning. Flip that. There, those, here, have mine.
It's okay.
Just put
Oh, I
right-
got it right
put
here. I got it
there.
right here.
Okay.
8, I have 8, 2 speakers.
All right. Now everybody has it. Okay, good. Can you tell me what the asterisks are? Those are the ones from the last survey? Okay, thanks.
I'm curious as to why
Jared, your question.
the inclusivity elements are in this, since they're required no matter what. I mean,
It's just to know the,
somebody put down not important on that, you know?
yeah,
It just seems we're asking for something that we don't need to ask for, and it would be embarrassing if it came out with a lot of people doing not important.
okay.
Well, it
We
might,
can take that out.
I think it might be helpful to know how much. I mean, it's not,
Like the high, it would indicate the usage.
yeah, like, there are parks that are specifically,
The
the
entire
entire
park.
thing is fully inclusive. But this could be, is it 20, like, yes, there is laws, but is it 20%? Is it 40%? It would be interesting to hear from our population.
Yeah, I agree. Because it's, there are, what accomplishes ADA in a park, in a playground setting, is a variety of different things and different levels. Some places choose to go complete inclusivity, which means you have different surfacing.
Right.
All the elements are adaptable, and then others do, you know, a kind of a mixture of both, making sure that it's addressed, so in that sense.
Okay.
Because if it comes back very important from 90% of our survey, it may be something for another conversation as to how much we want to include,
Yes.
if that's meeting the general requests, okay.
And I believe the asterisk is just the questions that have multiple answers.
Oh,
So see
okay.
the other ones where you just write it in, there's no asterisk.
What's a sound element?
Well, certain parks have little boards you can play music on that allow you to make music with the equipment itself.
Oh, okay.
And then,
Like at the Moxie.
Or even like the bells down
The
at,
bells.
the pier,
Okay.
on the beach down
Okay.
there, or some of them have like little horns.
Yes, and just little,
yeah.
there's, so you can include musical elements in your playground. Like when we did Libby, there was some thought of it, but that didn't, they had to make choices of all that, you can't have everything. And so it's, there are pieces pre-made that are musical.
Okay.
Do you think it would be important, I'm trying to decide, because I know when doing surveys, like, okay, you want to be concise, you want to have a limited number of questions so people will take the time to do it. Do you think we should do a section that is about your household, maybe like how often they visit, the
Which
age
parks?
range? And then you could take that where they reside, put that into that section?
So let's see, which number were you looking to add that into?
How often do
So,
you visit
number
Ojai Parks?
9.
Okay.
So where do you reside? And I was like, okay, the other areas, because how I see this is in different sections. So you've got maybe in about your household area, that would be, how often do you visit the park? What ages is your child or your children? And where do you reside?
And we
have
really
that.
only have 2 with playgrounds.
Say that again?
We only really have 2 with playgrounds, parks.
Oh, yes, yes.
Which, so that could be a question too.
Oh, which park do you visit the most, you're saying?
Oh,
Or about, I don't know, it might not be.
or do we
important.
just want this one to focus on Sarasota?
Yeah.
Or you could do it you could frame it differently, that if it were redesigned, how often would you visit? How often,
Right.
if the playground was available, renovated, whatever, reconstructed, how often would you likely visit,
More
something like that?
often, yeah.
More often than now, not at all, like, does that,
Yeah. Although, will that, again, looking at the why of, we're asking that, will that change our trajectory of doing this project? So I'm just thinking of, okay, what are we doing with the data we're collecting?
Good point.
Like,
I think the
making
ages
sure-
is really important, because maybe we have more there that are under the age of 5 versus,
So having
that would be
lower
it, I think.
elements and.
So do you ask if they have children?
Yeah, I mean, I would suggest that we
Yeah.
would do, what are the ages of your what is the age of your child or children you bring to the park? And you could,
I think
do a
that's
sliding
good.
scale, under 5.
yeah, under
5 to 7.
5, 6 to 8, 9 to 12, 13 to 17.
I think that'd be helpful.
And you could have I do not bring children, because might
Yeah.
just go sit in the grass and or walk the
The path.
perimeter. Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah, I think
add
the age
that.
is good, I like that.
And you would probably do that like as a 10, like after where you reside and,
Well,
Do we care where they reside? Is that really relevant? I mean, just to keep it short, does that matter?
We had that on one of the last ones. Is it like the valley that's visiting Sarasota Park, or is it just?
City residents, okay.
but that's back to, how does it
Yeah.
help us?
Is it,
Yeah, what does that change if
we
we get
collecting-
that information?
Okay, so 9 maybe a question mark?
So I would think you have a section about your household, so, or it could just be the question of, the ages. And then you'd go into your priorities, which I love these. I think they're all good. The only thing I was thinking is it makes sense that we define or give examples of what inclusivity elements would be. I mean, sometimes I think I take for granted that people might know these, but
I think on this, I don't know how you would, I think no, but further in maybe? Because like here, I was thinking on the question 3, it might be good to give some examples of certain things here.
Right.
Because people might not have a reference point, and I think that might be a good way to put it there.
Okay.
How are we gonna circulate and collect these?
Online.
Oh. How do we know who to send it to online?
Well, you submit it online. So you take the survey.
No.
Oh,
He's saying
How
what,
do you- how do
like
you
who
reach
are we
the
gonna
people?
send it to?
Yeah.
oh, I see. We would put it out on all of our social media accounts, also on our website. We can even have it sent out through our ActiveNet program, which is like thousands of emails, people that use the recreation department.
We
Did
just-
we link it on the city's, web, or the city's website?
And
And social media too, I thought we did it on social media.
Yeah.
I could just
we've
have a
also gone through
QR.
the schools before.
Oh, yeah,
Where we
that's
put
good.
out a flyer and they can hand it all out at school and just have a QR on there.
Yeah,
Mhm.
QR code.
Yeah.
And hard copies at the park itself for people.
Well, yeah, we
Prefer.
can print some out. Yeah.
The schools are great resources for that too, just for the children, access to the parents. And when are we gonna run this survey?
I would like to run it as soon as possible.
We get it done. Do you think we need open spaces on here? I don't see how that's that
The
helpful.
only reason why I did put open spaces on there is because I've been getting a lot of comments, especially when we reviewed the master plan. People were calling in and coming in saying, we don't want to lose our open spaces. Like, we don't want that whole master plan where they do the
But
walkways
this is
in
about the
between
playground
and-
specifically, and the playground isn't in the open spaces. The playground is going back in the same location
It's gonna be in the same
that it is
location.
now,
Yeah,
absorbing probably what used to be a horseshoe area, but isn't really doing a lot of horseshoes now.
no,
And so that, when it was discussed before previously, when we were working on it, it's not going to take up the other open space.
it won't.
So I don't know that that's,
I don't know if a participant would know the difference. I think if a participant who's doing this, who's like filling this out, they might be thinking of the whole space.
yeah, and so I
'Cause I
don't think
was-
it's helpful. I mean, or you think it is
I
helpful?
think it is
Oh,
helpful.
okay.
It was kind of like one of those things, because I was also thinking like, do we really in Ojai need to have unshaded areas here? But that made me think about open space. People want open space
In the park,
in the
In the
park.
park.
but not in the playground. Or they.
Oh, I see.
You see what
Okay, so
I'm
you're.
trying to separate,
yeah.
because this is specifically about
For the
the
playground.
playground. And I don't think we're gonna use that space, there's be a lot of stuff in there, because it's a limited amount of space, so it's not where you're looking to have open space. So I just don't know that I
It's
think
almost the exact.
Well, we are
opposite.
talking about,
Every
You're right,
experience used.
adjacent to.
Is the splash pad, is that something that you would actually, is that being considered to go in the playground?
yes,
Well,
and,
in the park,
and also
In the
there is a
park or in
question
the
about the
playground? That's what
walking
I'm saying.
path. So we are asking about the other areas of the
but
park
it says
as well.
playground survey, so
that's what
I
I'm
would like
saying.
to
So
keep
we can
play-
change that, or
myself.
we can do,
So is the thought, discussion, that the splash pad would be within the footprint of the playground or somewhere else? What's been the talk?
where the horseshoe area is,
When-
if possible.
If,
Mhm.
I don't, yeah, this is all new. Because that isn't, I mean, I don't think it had ever been discussed before.
It's a new option
You
that
really-
we're looking into.
And is the playground gonna have sand? Is that the thought? No sand?
That's up for discussion.
But it's up for
That's part of the
discussion.
discussion about what surfacing and those kinds of things, yeah.
Yeah. So all we're doing right now is this portion. We don't have any details, anything yet.
Okay.
So we want to get,
Nothing is designated, what we
No.
know is the area. That part we know.
yes.
I mean, it could change if they decided, I mean, anything's possible, but that's, as it's always been discussed, it's in that area, but
So I'm gonna add on,
Well, I don't understand why we're saying, would we like to have a walking path around the perimeter of Sarasota if we're just doing a playground survey?
I agree.
I don't think you should blur them.
do you wanna keep it specifically playground?
Yeah.
Well, that's,
It's what it says it is.
I mean, we can do another survey at another point for more of a master, plan idea.
Do
But I
you-
think if this one is just for the playground, it shouldn't talk about the other stuff.
Do you think if someone's taking this survey, they're thinking, like I'm reading Sarasota Playground Survey, I wouldn't be thinking that it's just this footprint in the fence right there.
I wouldn't either.
I would
But
be
we
thinking,
can
like,
change
I'm looking at
this.
the Play space at Sarasota. So
But
that's
that's
why,
not where you put playground equipment. But that's okay, that's fine.
yeah.
I think we're
Because we're
trying
gonna
to
be
get a handle on what kind of playground they
Yeah.
want, in wherever space it is in the park, like the elements, and what do you wanna do when you're in a playground?
Right, and maybe we identify that in the, like at the intro, like a 2-sentence blurb at the top of the survey.
So I think we should take out 4 and 5. I don't think that they're, and that shortens it up a bit, because I also think that when you have too many questions, it's like voting for board members on a Little League. You get lost and you get down to the end and nobody votes anymore.
Yeah, I agree.
I just think you have to, if you're doing it for the playground, it shouldn't have anything to, those are important, questions, but I don't think they're necessary for the survey.
And I think you ought to have some space here where they can put down other things that we might not have thought of.
And in 6 and
it
7,
does.
6, they have a number 6 is a.
Wait, I'm looking at a different thing than you.
No, it's flipping pages
And at each,
confusing.
each question, Christie put, other,
at the bottom.
yeah, a space that you
Got
could
it.
put other.
This is the other. Not again. Yeah. Yes, absolutely. I have 2 public speakers, and you're welcome to
Oh,
come up if you
wanna
want to
do it
join
before?
in.
You can do it before. Yeah.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't hear. Did you say make a motion or something?
No.
Oh, please join, Larry.
Haven't read this before, looked at it, said, okay, why not? Because my wife's an occupational therapist, I've become well aware of ADA, plus I also did commercial real estate. I understand having toys and activities that are ADA, but is there any, does any of the real estate that we own need to be ADA upgraded?
With regards to the playground, you're saying?
No, in relation
in
to just ADA.
Oh.
To like, so that if somebody came in a wheelchair, they're not gonna sue the city. Okay, because we should have everything be up to code. Just a question, and maybe somebody walks through and says, hey, yes, we have ramps, we have handles, we have bathrooms, we have all the stuff, and we have the same thing on the first floor that we have on the second floor, so that somebody who wants to do weights can do it. That's all I'm asking. All right. Questions regarding the pool,
Splash pad?
yes, okay, because I'm involved in the pool group, and because I'm also was on the Ojai Unified School District Citizens Bond Oversight Committee, we were looking at pool costs.
That's item 8.
Huh?
That's item 8.
Side of eight?
The pool-
No, this is
Pool's
regarding
number 8.
asking about it.
Oh,
This is asking about
But it's
it.
public comment time, so.
Yeah, this is asking about it. I've got
Yes,
more
yes,
on
please.
that pool, but this is this pool. We talked to a company called California Waters. I can send you stuff so that at least you have an idea what it
Splash pad.
entails, because the state of California has requirements that, you know, because you got kids and you got recycled the water and you got the bathroom, it's a whole big deal, right? So at least you have an idea that it's gonna cost $5 million, $3 million, whatever.
For a
So that
splash
when
pad.
people go, because you're gonna start this thing going, and you're gonna get people cranked up, and they're gonna wanna know stuff. So you're gonna have to proceed as expeditiously as well as you can, because now we've created this machine that's going forward for a splash pad. But to say, okay, we've talked to people, we have an idea.
yeah, that'd be great. Can you
Also-
send that stuff to Christie so she can send it
Can you
out?
make any form that you put online, fillable, online, so I don't have to print it out to write,
Survey
Yeah,
monkey.
it'll be a survey monkey,
Yes.
so it'll be like, click the boxes and then,
and I can fill it in?
Yeah,
oh, you mean on paper?
No, that
Oh.
I can fill it in online.
Yes.
yeah, you could do it right on your
Oh,
phone.
okay, great, because I've asked the city to take some of their applications and make them fillable.
I don't know that it'll be fillable is probably not the right word.
I-
You'll be able to type in the
Fine,
comment
same
boxes.
difference. To me, it's the same thing. I don't have to print it out, write it, scan
No,
it,
no,
and
it'll
send
be
it.
all online.
All right, and then you're gonna be, somebody, if you get, how many of these is everybody capable of reviewing? Because if you're really successful and you get 500, 400.
Like, so Survey Monkey will put all your data and make it really,
Yeah, I'm just thinking of
To-
like
to
work. I mean,
digest.
it's like,
The
you've got.
comments will have to be reviewed by staff, but I think the Survey Monkey puts all populates
Oh,
all
no, no.
the pre-selections.
Right, but when you have 100 comments and they're all different, it's like, anyway, but thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
Bill, would you like to speak? You want to talk, before we move on? This is on the survey.
I like surveys. They give people information. They give people an opportunity to express their attitudes, their experiences. But you need to know something about the people that are giving you the opinions anonymously, unless they want to. I always want to put my name down. Okay, here are some suggestions. Good start, by the way. I think it would be very helpful if you had a brief history of how Sarasota Park came about. Sarasota family, they gave the land, they bought the land, they used the land, they gave the land, and now we have Sarasota Park, and probably 80% of the people in this town have no idea where it came from. Historical statement would be really great. Is there one in the park itself?
In the park, not that I know of,
I
but
think that
we
would be
have
very
something
helpful
online.
too.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I think asking anonymously about the age of their children, they're giving you information about. I will tell you what my kids did, but that was like 50 years ago. And I'm liable to do that. But you really need to know that I'm talking about 50 years ago. It would seem to me that the age of the kids they're talking about, either in the past or the present or the future, people are pregnant, is really important for your planning. The present use and the future use is what we really need to talk about. And you might want to ask the ages in specific categories, like less than 5, 5 to 10. And in my case, it's not just over 65. I want to check 91 to 100 because I'm 93. And I walk around there frequently. She's seen me over there. I think that you might consider getting the Ojai Valley News to publish your survey. We did a survey on the pool, as you probably know, a few months ago through the Ojai Valley News, and we got, I'm a member of the Ojai Community Pool Foundation, as is Larry. Got 450 returns. That would be really great. That would be great. And let's see. Oh, and ask the people who are responding what their age category is. Because you need to know that my comments are from a 91 to 100-year-old. And that would be helpful in figuring out what to do with my comments.
Thank you, Bill.
Thank you. Was there any more speakers on this?
No.
So we can continue the discussion.
I think Christine, yes.
So I think we do need an introduction.
I think so too. I like that
About,
historic statement about the park, because we do have a lot of new families that are here and they may not know any of that.
But also how
history.
old the park, the playground is. Back to
Yes.
the playground. And that we're going to build a new playground, and this is an opportunity to participate and help us understand what the public wants. Please, please take the survey.
Oh, I
something to
love that.
effect.
definitely
Yeah,
know
that's
So that
great.
you're giving
Like
them
an
a-
opening,
yes,
yeah,
yes.
a little opening
So why
statement.
they would, in that way, they'll understand that it is about a playground and why we're doing it, because in the next 2 years, we'll be building a playground and give them an opportunity to respond. I do think that it was like you were saying with do you have children? What are their ages? And you can mark all boxes that apply and have the ranges. What were you thinking the ranges would be good to be? Like 0 to 5?
I think under 5.
Yeah, you could do
Yeah.
under
5 and
under
under.
5, 6 to 8, 9 to 12, 13 to 17.
So let's write that down so we have it, make sure we get it in the notes. So under 5 and under,
6 to 8,
6 to 8,
9 to 11.
9 to 12, or
12.
yeah, 9 to 12,
12 or older? Or do you want to do,
13
do
to
you want to do
17.
12, 13 to,
13 to
17.
17.
yeah, and then older?
Do we want to put in, older, or I do not bring children, or I'm just thinking of
Well,
what we're
it's-
doing with the.
Do you have, you put, do you have children, yes or no? And then it would make sense then to proceed to the
Yeah.
next one. Because you can make them so that they're,
Yeah.
it
Yeah.
plops the
It
next
pop-
one
yes,
up.
yes, yes.
Once you
Yeah.
answer one.
Mm-hmm.
And then we could ask your, what is your age range? I think that's a great idea of the people responding.
Mm-hmm. And is it gonna be anonymous, or do we require a name?
I was gonna have it be anonymous, but
Do you want to ask for an
Is it
email
based on
so
the
that we can
IP?
then
Yeah.
know so we can reach back to people who've been interested in the playground project? Because then if we have any other outreach, we could make sure that we ask them if they're willing to give their email to find out more about it at the end. Because SurveyMonkey does that, I think. You can ask them for their email and let them know that we'll be sending out more information.
Yeah, I mean, I
Can
don't
we
think
add
we're
that?
asking any privacy information.
Okay, so we'll do the age range.
Does the SurveyMonkey only is it based on the IP address, they get to just do one?
good question. Yeah, I
I
don't know
think it's in the
about that.
settings that you can restrict, just so you don't get someone with a strong opinion of one way or the other doing 50 surveys opposing, to throw off the totals. I think it's in the back settings where you can say it's restricted one per IP address. Because I remember when I think it was like you voted best of Ojai or something like that. And then I remember, you go back in, this link has already been used or something.
Oh,
So-
yeah,
And we look,
okay.
if it's gonna be anonymous is fine. Maybe though, it can be anonymous, but at the end, the last question can be, maybe like, would you like to be contacted regarding or something, or.
Would you like to
some-
be kept up on, the progress of the project? Please leave us your email and we'll, something like that.
Okay.
I think it'd be good, and people can choose. Were we gonna keep the number 9 or not?
I mean, I just wanna keep it as short as possible, because I think you lose people when you get too long
Yeah.
of a survey. And
I'm fine with it either way.
yeah, I am too. I don't know that
It's this kind of catch-22. It's like you've got people taking the survey, so like, what do you want to
Get it
know?
like-
But you also,
Yeah.
it's like,
Okay.
you want to have it short enough. So
I mean, what does it
pretty
change
short.
where they live, if they, well, especially if we're taking out 4 and 5, I
Yeah.
think we can leave it in.
Okay, and then, on number 1, are we taking out open spaces?
Yeah.
Okay, it's not, okay.
And what about shaded areas? There's not gonna be shaded or unshaded.
Well,
there could be.
shade is actually an important discussion, because in Libby Park, that was part of the impetus to doing some of that, and it's so hot here that I think.
And it's really helpful when your kids are a little bit older, because I have memories of like sitting in those, on those benches in the 90-degree heat, and they're having so much fun, but you're just dying.
If there's,
Yes, they have like little, like sitting areas they have like a sandbox in them, right, in the middle, over at Libby, right? Isn't that,
Yeah.
are those still there?
Oh, yes.
With a little
Yes.
edge on the, yeah.
Yeah, and they have shade over those.
And they'd shade over the swings.
Mm-hmm.
But, so shade has definitely been a long-term, question, issue, preference, definitely something people are interested in.
isn't it a function of where the trees already exist and unless we're gonna plant new trees?
No, it's structural shade. It's,
Oh,
That's
you're talking
over the
so-
top.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay,
it's-
that's different.
yeah, so like on the, Libby, they have, designated covers over the certain equipment.
I think the structure's built out of composite versus structures built out of wood. I don't know about,
Do you know if there's
I
a
don't, are they
functional
still
difference in
building
price?
ones out of wood?
between
Is that a
wood?
thing?
In
there are
price, I
companies that still do
don't know.
wood,
Okay.
but it's not the majority.
Yeah, I thought composite was kind of just
Composite
the way
is-
that it seems like
Way
the
to go now.
longevity.
Yeah.
Yeah, so maybe let's maybe we could take it out, and then you could, down at the bottom, we could add the, comment box.
Oh, there as well, okay.
On after 1.
So we could take out both of those, because if you're taking
I
out
don't
one,
think
you take out the
we're really
other.
not gonna, yes, you're right, I think
Yeah.
Okay. But we're keeping in shaded areas, yeah?
Yes.
Okay. Do we keep unshaded areas in then too, or?
Yeah, might as
Yeah,
well.
okay, so both those stay.
Can you, if I'm sure I'm not the only one who immediately thought it was going to be trees. Maybe you might want to
Maybe
explain.
call it structural shade,
Yeah,
Okay.
Yeah.
structural shaded areas. Do we really need unshaded on there?
I don't
We
You
just
know
say-
why?
Can we just say structural shade? That kind of tells me it's a building, it's
Yeah,
something being built,
absolutely.
right?
How about shade overplay structures?
Yeah.
Because
Instead of
structural shade,
just
for some
confusing.
people will be like, I don't know.
Okay, so,
Yeah, they might be thinking like that, the picnic bench area.
shade over play
Equipment.
elements, equipment, yeah. My kids grew up on the metal slide at Soul Park, so, I mean, and the rocket.
It's the same rocket.
I did too. Me
There
too.
was no shade.
Yeah.
Okay, what else do we want to add that we think might be important when we think of a new playground? How, how important are the following? What else is, and we'll put a little comment box down there. Christy, did you get that?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So opportunities for climbing, we've got splash pad.
Where are you seeing splash pad?
Splash pad's at the very top, it's the very first one.
Oh, yeah. Oh, would it make sense that we put water element, or are we being specific?
Because
Splash
before it
pad.
was water element.
Yeah, I'm just thinking.
Could be what we
Water
had.
element.
Oh,
Just
maybe change
from your
splash
comment,
pad to
thinking
water
like,
element
we
in
don't-
question two?
I think that's what we had
Pigeonhole yourself in.
before.
What's a
I
water
think
element?
you should put down splash pad as one and pool as another, because I'd like to get a feeling.
For question
for-
two, you're saying?
But this is.
This is just for
This is in the
Sozodi.
playground.
This is
Sozodi
for
is
the-
the location,
Yeah,
just
yeah.
for the
Oh, okay,
playground.
Just for the
then-
playground.
Then why do we have splash pad?
Because they want to put it where the horseshoe pits are within the
Well,
playground.
They want to put a water element in the park, because they wanted to put one when they built in Libby, but they couldn't, and so that was,
In the playground,
yeah, back when that whole plan, everyone
yeah,
wanted
within the
something.
But,
footprint of it.
So now we're
Separate
asking.
apart from this, I would be very curious from the pool point of view to find out, and it's a cheap way to do this on this survey, put down pool, splash pad.
I think it's way too confusing, because that property is not,
Never going to be
it's never
used
gonna have
for-
a pool.
yeah.
And so this is about Sarzodi Playground. So I think a water element, or, I mean, I could go either way on water element or splash pad, but I think water element's good
But we
because
can
it
do
isn't
another
so
survey.
specific.
And it doesn't pigeonhole us in.
I like water element for the top. And then down here, then you talk about the splash pad as number two,
Okay.
like water element or water feature maybe. Like right up
Slash, yeah, I
like
see it.
here, yeah, water element, and then you ask about the splash pad.
Okay.
Having seen the splash pad, like the one, like that you have like out at the lake, I don't really know how you're gonna regulate that with the playground use. I mean, I just don't see them being together, but maybe other
Well-
places have pulled it off and we can go look at them or something, but.
And it definitely won't be to that extent.
No,
It would be a
it just
lot
seems like
smaller.
Be really messy and, I don't
think-
know.
I think that that's the water element idea. What is that? And I don't know that, I think we don't specify a location for it either.
I don't remember why there wasn't a water element put in at Libby.
Are you thinking messy because it's currently sand,
No, and
just in general?
There was no way they could afford it at that point with the playground and the budget already to get that done.
I just think that's a whole nother level of play, and then like you're the mom and you've got 3 kids and you're trying to just get them to go play over here and they're running and then they're getting wet. And I'm not sure that I am an advocate of the splash pad, but.
But then it's kind
And
of
I
the
think
same
they're
thing at Libby Park with the little sprinkler.
That
like-
was the
Yeah.
best, that was what could be done.
Right. They're still gonna get soaked.
Yes, yeah, I think water element, I think we ask these questions,
Oh,
because there is.
maybe they say that's not important because that would be not a good fit, and then we kind of can gauge, or they say it's very important because
And then we know where
we
we
don't
are.
have a pool and we want to get wet, okay. And I'm not sure, I know it's like zero, it just recirculates, right?
This is, we're way ahead of ourselves.
Okay.
Let's just
I
find out
think
if
we
it's
just need to-
important.
Yeah, if it's
Okay,
even,
okay,
if
water
it's-
element,
yeah.
okay,
Yeah, okay.
But I know that at council, they've discussed it, and
really,
there's definitely a will to have this done.
Yes.
So then do we take out number 2 since we have
I think
Water
we leave that,
element?
that's a very specific.
Okay.
Yes or no?
Yeah.
Because up here, they're gonna be non-important, important, thinking of
Mm-hmm.
prioritizing, and I think that's just a.
And splash pad's much
Yeah.
more focused. Okay.
So, have we covered the kinds of elements? Because like, okay, we're talking about climbing, innovative and different, I'm not totally sure about that. I mean, like, almost like imaginative play, I think would be on there for me, because some of those elements are, have more imaginative play in them. They're not just physical, they have things to do with them, and I also am curious if
There's one at the
people
Ventura.
want it to have a theme. Because a lot of playgrounds at this point, you don't have to.
Oh, yes.
But it's
Mhm.
definitely an option as you design it, not just the colors, but also, like Kellogg Park's a really good example. They had a strong theme.
Where could we put that?
I think
to
that would be
get-
on number one.
Well,
I don't
do
know.
we want, what kind of theme, though?
Yeah,
I
if we're
mean,
gonna
if we're gonna ask the question, we should give a
pick
space,
three
like,
options or
No,
something.
no, I don't, because this is the first go. This is the first
Okay.
interaction with people. I don't think it's the last, because once you get started, they're gonna wanna, we're gonna come up with some ideas, and then they're gonna react to them. We don't just do
So is the
this and then
theme
just do
important?
something. Yeah, I think that's the question, because not what the theme is, because we don't know, and we haven't even looked far enough to make three ideas, and from my perspective.
So thinking about Kellogg Park, what's the theme at Kellogg Park? I mean, the color.
And there's nature stuff, and there's a lot of local stuff, and I think there's local nature stuff.
I would say
And-
it's almost like simple, too. It's very simple.
But, so I say just,
Okay.
I think just get a feel for if that's something anyone cares about, or it's just really
Not
important how,
Okay.
what the
I like
play,
that.
I think that's easy enough to add into that
Yeah.
number one.
Okay.
Okay, so we're good, we've got all the things we want there.
So,
Okay, and then on to question 3. So this gives them an ability to talk about more specifics of the types of things they had.
and do we want this one to be specific splash pad or change to water element?
I'm fine with water element on that, but either way with it's fine. When they say merry-go-round on here, does that mean the
Like-
thing at Libby?
I think so.
Okay.
That's what
like
I
a
imagined, but
Merry-go-round
what do you-
slash spinning, kind of, there's
have
spinning on there too. So
Uh-huh.
but I think this is where you'd give examples, like of inclusive element ADA. I think you talk about equipment,
Like swings.
paths, just the different kinds of things that can be ADA. So you can, the
Oh, like a
surfacing.
sub-drop?
Surfacing. ramps.
Yeah, and the surfacing is one of the things that would make it that way. Adaptive, like swings, just to mention maybe some things so they can imagine it, because they were asking how you define it. And I'm not sure
Right.
what the things are, but this would be the place to do that, I think.
With drop-downs.
I don't know, it's just, I don't think you need a drop-down. I think you get to pick the things that are important to you, but I think one of the things is that not everyone would know what inclusive element is.
Oh, rename it.
So you just give it, i.e., here are some things like
Okay.
that. And like, the merry-go-round, i.e., the one in the, like the one in Libby Park. Because so that they'll have a sense of, do we want a merry-go-round? And, and so
Oh,
you
interesting, yeah.
compare it to something they understand so that you have a better understanding.
Is that really called a merry-go-round?
I
It's gotta
thi-
have a different
We
name.
have spinning too, but I don't know what you want to call it, but, because it's a spinning
Well,
element.
spinning, I imagine like there's little seats that you just like tilt your body in there.
That one you stand
The
on.
one you
and-
stand
Oh,
on.
yeah, the-
It's-
yeah.
Love that, and that's actually from the original park.
Right.
That was from the playground before that playground.
Yeah,
Not
for me, but for kids.
But
You're
I,
talking about
so
the
good.
kind that you push, right?
No, they're
That's
like,
the merry-go-round.
Yeah.
yes.
Yes,
Okay.
but the
The kind-
spinning are different.
See, but this is where we need
Okay.
examples. Because I think, so that
I
we
don't
have a
think,
sense.
do they even allow merry-go-rounds
Yes,
anymore?
they're
Oh,
back.
they do?
Like
They're
that
back?
one in the park.
Okay.
They're, not the ones of our childhood, and they have
Oh, yeah.
governors
To get
and-
stuck under.
I love them, but they're, I don't know, this is where it would be interesting to ask Lindy, what do they call these now? What do they
Right.
call the thing in Libby Park? Because that's what we're talking, that's what I'm thinking about.
Yes,
So if we could do that,
I don't know the proper name.
I don't either.
yeah, I don't have a term for it, but merry-go-round, I think, and then you tell them like in Libby Park, that would,
Brad was just making a
I
point.
just think of a calliope and horses going up and down.
Oh,
right, I mean, that isn't, yeah.
Like the one in Central Park.
Yeah.
In the
A
fair.
carousel.
That's a
That's a
carousel.
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 But
But they
it-
were
I've
called
always called it a
merry-go-round.
merry-go-round as well.
That is
you're right.
original,
The merry-go-round I think of as a metal disc that is on top of a.
but I think that's
free-flowing,
regional, right?
Yeah,
I mean, you know,
He was just making a really good point. So I was picturing, I think it's at one of the malls, maybe Oxnard or Ventura, where it's basically almost like a fountain, and it's on a timer, and you stand on top of it, and the water pops up, and they
That's a
have them
water
in like
element.
glass, right? So that's a watermelon. I'm wondering, is that the idea?
I don't think we're there yet.
No, but I'm saying for Christy, like when you said something very small, calling it a splash pad, he was just Googling it, and that implies like more of a structural element to it. But are you thinking more of that like water fountain that like pops up out of the ground? Is that?
I
like,
think
what
that could definitely be an option.
Okay.
So
I just
we're not
wasn't
there yet. That
Incorporated.
discussion needs to happen, but
But
this
I
is
would
the-
call that something, I wouldn't call it a splash pad at all. I
So
would
just
call
water
it.
element.
Yeah, water element.
Excellent. So we'll be consistent throughout, and we'll switch
Because those are really popular.
to
They
water
are.
element.
And those are really low maintenance versus
Okay.
a splash pad, I think is interpreted differently.
Yeah, well, I just thought it was one of those things that you just run and slide on.
The slip and slide.
Oh, slip and
Yeah,
slide.
slip and slide.
Okay, so to be consistent, we'll just use water element
water
on
element. I
3,
like that better.
1, and 2.
By the way, a merry-go-round is defined as a revolving machine with model horses or other animals at which people ride for amusement.
Is there more than one definition?
That's the New Oxford American
Okay,
Dictionary.
that's funny,
definition.
because that definitely, you and I grew up, those were merry-go-rounds.
Yeah, for sure.
That's what we always called them.
You jumped
We
on
didn't
them
have
and
another-
flew off of them
I think they
at
called them,
lightning
I actually
speed.
think they may call them spinners.
So should we
other
maybe
places,
take
but-
that,
Need a proper name.
maybe just take off merry-go-round altogether and just
Well,
have
no.
spinning
No, like a spinner maybe. Let's find out what the term is.
from Last Lindsay?
Yeah, Lindy, what she thinks the most appropriate.
Okay,
Because I think whatever she would call the thing in Libby Park.
yeah, so they know.
Were there any others that you think need examples, or, you know,
No, I think. the
everything else
others
is
are-
pretty
everything else is
self-explanatory?
Do you think while we have people captive that you want to ask anything about safety or cleanliness in the park, or?
I think those are kind of,
Yeah,
well,
I don't
Because
safety.
you're probably gonna hear that anyway.
I should have asked the chief when he was here about the lights. And because, I did get some complaints during softball about lights, and I don't think closing the playground is really, I think if there's adult play going on and we have a playground, then we should consider lights.
Well, so that would go in question 1, right?
Yes. Because it is really dark back there.
I don't know.
But I know that becomes a expense and a staffing issue, but it's something that, if that's what's really important to the parents to have lights, then, or the users, we should consider that. So, yeah, I think we should add that
Okay. So that would be a number 1?
in number 1, yeah, wherever.
My kid will never let me leave the park then.
I know, right? Here we go.
Okay. Well,
So
I was
6,
thinking just during adult
7.
activities,
Oh,
like you
yes.
turn them on when we're turning on the softball lights, or if people are playing soccer, that
Right,
would
to
be,
keep it
I just think
safe.
it should be lit.
They definitely have to turn off at 10.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Yeah, yeah,
they
for sure.
would turn off by 10.
So then 6, 7, and 8
Are good? Yep.
we're keeping 9, because we can. And it's interesting information.
Interesting, yes.
And then
Yes.
The non-mechanical ones are called roundabouts.
Good job,
heard
good
that.
research.
ever.
Never heard of it.
Roundabout.
I don't know that anyone here would identify that as.
You have roundabouts, paren carousel, or merry-go-round, whatever.
Yes,
Or
we
just
could use 2.
non-mechanical.
Well, we want to do,
figure that out.
I think that we've evolved to the ones at Libby,
I think
that's
we've
really the
exhausted
demand.
subject.
Yeah.
So does that give us six questions?
Well, then you also added on how often do you visit, what's the age of your children,
And your age range.
and your age range, yeah.
As long as I think it's around 10, yeah.
We're very close. Maybe 12. 1, 2.
I don't think,
Is there anything else while you have people captive that you want to collect?
Well, I think that's the whole problem, is there's a lot of information we'd like to collect, and I was just saying we could
Not
do
all in
we
this.
can do another survey, but I think this one needs to be just for the playground.
And then the last thing is making sure to ask for their email if they are interested in being kept updated on the project, or,
Yes. Do we have the ability to build like a database for updates on?
I think so.
Okay.
Yeah, so maybe we could just make them a part of like the ActiveNet program, put them in there, so when we send out our update emails, they could just be included in that
So
group.
do you want to be included in updates from the maybe it could just say from the recreation department and put it in there, or
From our
would it be
ActiveNet
stick?
registration
I would rather
program.
keep it to the people who are interested in
The playground?
In the playground,
I know we might gain some customers and followers.
maybe.
I don't know that they have the ability to separate just for playground updates.
Yeah, no.
Well, you could create a list from, well, you know who'll create the list for you is, SurveyMonkey. You're gonna
Right.
get it right out
Yeah.
of there of the
Yeah.
people who left their
So
information.
it could say, the last question would be, would you like to be kept updated on playground progress,
Please give us your
Okay.
email if you'd like to.
if you'd like to be updated?
Yeah.
Yeah, Bree just texted me and says she can make a specific playground list
Perfect.
for email.
Okay, perfect. So can we add that in closing then, the last question?
Okay.
Okay, great. Any other comments from our visitors tonight on the topic of the survey? Bill, Larry, no? Any other questions on, okay. Moving on to our playground ad hoc committee, recommendation that we create an ad hoc committee to evaluate playground needs, design concepts, and community input for future playground improvements with Sarasota Park and other city parks. I have two speakers. Gentlemen, would you like to speak first, or would you like to endure our comments? Oh, not on, oh, I'm sorry, you're on number 8. My bad.
So we're on
We're on
7C.
7C, Playground Ad Hoc Committee.
So no comments? No comment cards?
No comments.
Okay. Well, so I think we're ready. I think we've,
I should do too, and I can tell you right now, I know who would really like to be on that ad hoc committee. Sage would like to be on it, am I right?
yes, I would like to be on it.
Do we all agree that we need to have an ad hoc committee for the playground?
Yes. You want a motion?
Well,
I think we
We need
need,
two
I like to, before I bombard somebody, I like to ask if there's another volunteer before we make a motion, but I think Brenda is over, she would really like to be on.
interested.
Okay, great. I will make the motion that we appoint Sage and Brenda to the ad hoc committee
that we're forming.
that we're forming tonight.
Second.
Will you call the roll for that?
Yes. Commissioner Tabak-Bank,
Aye.
Chair Taylor,
Yes.
Vice Chair Entner,
Yes.
Commissioner Lear.
Yes.
Excellent, thank you, ladies, appreciate that. Okay, moving on to our, I think, awaited, I have 2 speakers on this. Number 8, our ad hoc committee report on our pool. And we have our other member, he's not here tonight, so please present.
Are we having comments first, or?
I think I will offer to you, but would you like to hear the report of the, yes,
Okay.
I'd like to hear your.
Well, there's not a whole lot to report. Christie was there. Robert and I met with Councilman Whitman and the mayor, and we discussed the possibilities of where the pool could be located, whether we wanted to have our own pool, whether we wanted to have, make nice with the Ojai Unified School District, use theirs. A lot of the feeling was that, at least my feeling was, that we'd be better off with our own pool. The money appears to be capable of being spent, and my suggestion was that we have an aquatic center and a center that we can use for multiple purposes. The general opinion was that it would probably be located at Soul Park if we do it. that we would charge a minimal amount, maybe $5 for a family, and that we would run it and keep it up, it was a general feeling that we would try to raise money around the community. I had been told by some people that they would be interested. There was a discussion as to where the money comes from for all of the different projects, from the hospital to the performance center to the pool. And I pointed out that the most important ones are the ones that affect the whole community, which would be the pool and the hospital. I'm very into art, probably more than most people, but I don't see that as the number one priority. We agreed to meet again. The city is holding separate talks with the school district. The school district, I think, really wants to limit us way too much. But I think you gentlemen know more about what's going on with the school district than I do. So do you have anything to say?
Yes, of
Yeah.
course.
Always, Larry.
No, not always. But only because I've been involved in this thing. Hi, Larry Steingold. I believe at the Tuesday city council meeting, they essentially, I don't want to use the word poo-poo, but they said no to the pool because the city,
Who said
The
no?
s-
I'm sorry.
that city council meeting,
Council,
right.
okay.
because the pool at Nordhoff had all the infrastructure, cost $20 million, $18 million. They've got gas, they got all everything they need, right? They're looking at $500,000 in expenses, $250,000 in expenses, $100,000 a year for renovations future. The money's available. Listen, if somebody can raise $20 million and they want to put their name on a pool, great. If they want to raise an endowment, that's going to throw off $500 million a year, $500,000 a year, whatever, $7 going forward, be my guest. I think that's great. City pool would be wonderful. Sewell Park, we don't own Sewell Park. If you want to acquire Sewell Park, that's another conversation. I'm sure they're more than happy to give it to you.
Discuss that as well.
No, more than happy to give it to you, because it's going to be losing money for them, right? And it's a pain. So they might as well give it to us. We already own $600,000. But I met with Ms. Rivera on my own because I'm on the Ojai Unified School District Bond Committee, which I'm not here for that, oversight, to plan to essentially run the Nordhoff pool. I mean, let's come up with the package now, because when the city says, okay, we'll run it, we have to be paid X, because no one else is gonna run it for public, so we should plan for it. I mean, okay, pretend we start January 1st, what do we need to be up and running? How much do we have to do? What are we gonna charge? Why are we, and run it for the public. And just okay, it's gonna cost $250,000, set it up, let's go, and we'll contribute $250,000, and if we're light, then we have to plan for it. Maybe we have a temporary TOT tax for 2 years, or take from the TOT, whatever, because we gotta pay, there's gonna be a shortfall. And fundraising and donut sales and wreath sales ain't gonna make it. No, we already know this, right? So what I'm getting at is plan for Park and Rec to be running the Nordhoff pool for public usage.
And the sense I'm getting from the ad hoc report and just in general is the times if we're gonna run it, that's great.
From the time, look, right now, there's two options. One is we figure out how to do it together, right? Kids at one side, however that works. whatever, put that over here for a second. And then there's the minute the kid leaves, the minute the students leave at 3:30, Park and Rec.
I think this is a discussion that's not something.
Right. It's not,
Here tonight, because I think we don't have any information on this.
no, but I'm telling, I'm,
Have a back and forth
Yeah.
discussion during public comment.
Yeah,
That is a Brown Act violation.
Oh.
It
Okay.
cannot happen.
thank
Oh.
you.
It's agendized, we can discuss.
Well, no, but her point is, we
Yeah.
have public comment, and then they have to have comment, and we don't go back and forth. 'cause
Okay.
that's-
It's a brief reply only.
Okay.
allowed.
Okay,
So-
thank you.
fine, right. But all I'm saying to you is like the Malibu pool people, what they do is Park and Rec takes over the pool the minute the kids leave to the time they close.
Yep.
If they're gonna open at 5:30 in the morning, Park and Rec opens, they close at 8:30. And how that works, I don't know, but the mechanics are that Park and Rec runs the pool from the
I-
time, but doesn't take care of the pool.
Yeah.
That's their nickel, okay, because it's their pool. But we'll pay them, or how it works out, because that's part of the deal. So,
Well,
Thank
I
you.
don't want to start anything.
no,
Thank you.
I was perhaps falsely under the assumption that the Ojai School District was going to be at the meeting, and it wasn't. So it was
At your.
our meeting yesterday when we met with the councilman and the mayor. I think it would have been helpful because we're getting third-hand information, but I think really we have to look to the council. The council is going to negotiate the times with the school district if it's possible. I don't know what the Malibu district does. I'm curious to find out. But there are all kinds of problems. You have water polo, those guys, and maybe there's a women's team too. They have practice in the afternoon or maybe in the early morning. They probably give swim lessons to students as well. There's a lot of use that the school is going to want to use that pool for. I think our participation as Parks and Rec in this back and forth negotiation is kind of minimal to non-existent.
Can I ask you a quick question?
Sure.
You said that you guys were going to meet again, but they're having separate talks with the school district.
They're meeting separately with the school
School
district.
district, so, okay.
School district is not, it's more of an information to us.
So the it's for you to ask them questions and get information back to bring
Get
to
information
here.
to go back
And
here.
so, as of your meeting yesterday, that information wasn't specific
No.
to any of the kinds of, any of the information being discussed with the school district?
No, it was not specific at all.
Okay, so, okay.
Can I interrupt for one moment? I'm so sorry. Are there any other public comments?
I have one other public comment. Yes, Bill has a speaker
Oh.
card.
Okay,
I did
we should
not-
probably take that before.
Yes.
Chalk up another Brown Act violation.
No, it's not a violation. We're allowed to take the comments in the order that we receive, and we're allowed to have discussion on agendized reports. That's okay. And we can ask brief questions of the speakers, but it's not a violation. Bill, please come forward and join in the discussion. The agendized topic, to be clear, is the ad hoc report. So if you want to comment on the ad hoc report that's,
Yes.
that the commissioners provided, that's
I might say that,
for discussion.
I have a defect and I'm managing it, which is my bad. Okay. Having a separate community pool now would really be best, just like Brad says. Efforts, as some of you know, and maybe you were involved, over the years to get a community pool, several major efforts have tried to occur over the last 30 years or so, and never happened. The reality is we have one, We have a new one, and it was promoted as an aquatic center for community and school use. Previous school board had trouble understanding that, turned down a feasibility study to see how that would happen, and now we're faced with doing it ourselves, with the school district, with the city, and the community. So I am a member, as Larry is, of the Ojai Community Pool Foundation, the nonprofit group that Laura and Bob Ward started. 2 weeks ago, the City Council, on their agenda, had a proposal from Lane 4, which is an organization in Santa Barbara that helps communities consider how a community pool could operate successfully. They're working with one in San Ynez, and they're also working with UCSB and their expansion and remodel of their pool. They're very credible. City Council approved the first phase contract with Lane 4 for $10,000 to outline what it would take for a community nonprofit to run a pool that was jointly used by school and community and owned by the school, which we're really happy of. And there will be a contract signed, I understand, in a month or so. And it will take at least 3 months to happen. At that point, the results will come to show what it will take, what the community attitude is to support it, and then there will be another proposal for looking at all the details and how you raise the money, how you create the operation, how you hire the staff, how you pay for it, and how you come up with the deficit money to run it. It's estimated that it will cost $1 million a year to run a community pool. $1 million. So, if I'd like, may have another minute or so, please. I see the work or the role of the Park and Rec Commission appointing and establishing now an ad hoc committee to see how the recreation program, example, the activity booklet, can add water activities similarly to what you do for land activities. And you've done it in the past, I understand, with the old Nordhoff pool, and how you would do that. And here are a couple things to consider. The Lane 4 thing has happened. It won't be, the product won't be produced for at least 3 months. So you might not be able to do much until then. The cost of running the programs is something you need to look at, how much you would charge, how much the lane use would cost per lane per hour, and the different kinds of programs that you would offer. This is a real serious issue, and the issue is, those of you that swim, do you swim in the ocean? Not too often, it's pretty cold. Do you swim in the lap pool at the club, which is like 80 degrees? Do you swim in the rec part, which is 83 to 85? And 80 degrees is cold for little kids, for me, for a lot of adults. So one of the issues is the school pool is 80 degrees. Some of us feel that in order to make it usable for the community, it needs to be at least 83. In the summertime, you can do that. It's all 83. But what about the weekends, etc.? So you need to look at the issue of temperature as an attraction. If people go to the ocean looking at it as a wonderment and get in it, they don't usually come back. Kids-wise and young adults-wise. Okay, so I do think that key things here, Lane 4 has been approved for their phase 1. It'll be produced in about 3 months, 4 months maybe. Your ad hoc group will need that to work on and also look at the possibilities as to what you would add to your activity booklet to make use of the pool. Thank you.
Bill, I'm sorry, what was the second action item you said? The ad hoc what? You said ad hoc?
No, I was just saying that I would suggest that the ad hoc committee would be looking at the report when it comes out in 3 months.
Oh, I see. Okay,
That's a major issue to give you something to deal with.
great. Thank you.
And also to look at the activity booklet, the bulletin, as to what you would put in there to make use of the pool once it's available for community.
Thanks for clarifying. And I have one more speaker, Leslie Rule, Councilwoman.
I just wanted to really clarify what actually happened at the last council meeting so that you can have a better sense. There were 5 options for a pool water element. One of those options was a splash pad, and it was taken off of the list of 5, so we were now down to 4. A motion was made to not include the separate city pool, which was option number 5, because it seemed to be a longer, more complicated process, and we were hiring Lane 4 to actually do an analysis of what it would take to make, Nordhoff a what it would take to have Nordhoff become a pool that was, I won't say workable, but how it could be thought of as a community pool and whether or not that would suffice, right? So they do this. They look at cities that have pools that are associated with their school districts and how the communities work with that school district to share use of that pool. That's what they are, this $10,000 is for them to actually figure that out. So that's where that stands now. The council did not, at that time, want to investigate a community pool because they seemed to believe this was the majority opinion, not my opinion. They seemed to believe that it was much more complicated to move with a community, to wrap your head around a community pool, that having to do with where would we put it, where would we get the money. But there are other obviously complexities that you need to wrap your head around as far as, working with Nordhoff, working with that situation. And so that's kind of where we are as far as this goes. So we did decide that our ad hoc committee, which would be Gilman and Whitman, would meet with your ad hoc committee because you guys had done so much work already. And so that's the meeting that Brad and Robert had with Mayor Gilman and Councilmember Whitman. It was also decided in that discussion that it wasn't, the city council wasn't sure that, having the city council ad hoc around this community pool was going to be fruitful. That was to be discussed. And so, I don't know how that played out in the end with the first ad hoc meeting. So that's kind of where we are. That's what happened at the Tuesday meeting. So the community pool was not taken off the table. What was taken off the table was paying Lane 4 in order to do an analysis of that. So
That was taken off the table, or that was moved on?
Having Lane 4 also do an analysis for a community pool that was not Nordhoff's was taken off the table. And it was a 90-day turnaround time. So Lane 4 is supposed to come back in 90 days. I think the February 26th meeting is when we said they would come back with their findings.
Can I ask a couple of questions?
Yeah, please do.
With the Lane 4 contract, what did they promise as far as outreach and communication, and who are they reaching to, and who are they involving, and how is that going to work?
That is an unknown, and they are great questions.
And what time do we get that information before the 90 days? Because what goes in is what what comes out are
No,
very
right,
important.
you're absolutely
And so
correct.
I would ask that be more clarified before you go into the whole 90 days. I would hope that we would have an understanding of their methodology and
Yes.
how they're going to reach to our community and how they will reach to our ad hoc committee.
Yeah, and I think that because it was part of the motion that the ad hoc committee, the Park and Rec ad hoc committee, be included in this process,
Right.
that you would be within that motion and within your rights to say that as that is being developed with Lane 4, you would need to be part of that.
That's,
And I'm happy to advocate for that. I'm happy to bring that up with the city manager and our new attorneys on what that would look like. I think it makes perfect sense, and it was part of the motion.
it was part of the motion.
It was part of the motion to include the Park and Rec's ad hoc committee in moving forward with this process.
And in that process, the step that's happening right now is the feasibility study. But
Yes.
And were there any guidelines set with the, giving of the money in the contract on how that process was going to work and how they would interact with the community, the council, and any of the bodies? I mean, I want to understand, because all we've said is we're spending $10,000, but we don't have more than that at this point?
Exactly.
Okay. So
Precisely. Except for that
in
you
90
guys will
days,
be.
it's hard
will-
to
yeah.
even meet
Yes.
that many times. So I feel like, and I'm just going to put this out because we're
Yeah.
here right now, this is not an inclusive process.
I am, yeah.
It cannot be an
Yeah.
inclusive process.
I
of
am
the
happy,
community,
yes.
Or
or
of
our
the commission.
Yeah.
We're not even
And-
Yes.
meeting in.
And where does the public fit in?
Right,
And
as
where do
your
they
lea-
get to come
right.
talk about it?
Yes,
I mean,
as your
'cause they're not-
liaison, I will be happy to advocate that to the city manager immediately,
Okay.
that this needs to be an inclusive process, and that the Parks and Recs Commission during the last meeting had some real concerns about, because you guys were added because of your deep history around this issue. So don't take it from me that Lane 4 would not,
We just don't know.
we don't know, and I don't know.
And the contract, I don't know.
Right.
I'm sorry, I didn't watch the meeting, so I haven't seen
And,
it yet.
and on that note, I didn't watch the meeting either, and I don't think that the general public, they're coming here to hear your ad hoc report because we're agendizing, and I don't know that they go and sit through hours of council meeting to hear that discussion on the
Right,
direction, and,
right.
and that historically, those types of activities have come before this commission, so we can weed out all that, and frankly, to save the council the time, so that we
Right.
can make a valid recommendation through our work.
Right,
it
yeah, and
seems
I think
it's
you-
frustrating, because I
yes.
think it's, I mean, we haven't
Yes.
met, we're just up at full
Yes.
force, but we're not being fully utilized, and honestly, we
go as
spoke
far
about it
to
at the
say-
last
I would go
meeting,
as
like
far
we
as
haven't
to
done
say
anything.
excluded.
Yes,
Well,
that's true. So,
Yes, so I actually summarized that portion of the meeting for you.
Thank you.
That's what I've been doing back here,
Okay.
is transcribing and summarizing that portion of the meeting for you. So I will be happy to send you those notes, and, it's AI generated and all that stuff. So, it's not reliant upon me
I'll
to
go
have
watch
taught
it. I'll
everything.
still go watch it.
Yeah.
it's backwards, is I guess that, it
Yeah.
really, the public, I think, when it comes to recreation, historically, they come here with concerns and comments, and I just think that I mean, I'm sitting on a commission and I didn't watch the meeting, and I have no idea, and
Right.
it's just frustrating to hear it, because I feel like Brad's doing and Robert are doing double work when,
Right, and they did have the ad hoc meeting with Mayor Gilman and, Councilmember Whitman, but whether or not they knew the questions to ask, whether or not,
Absolutely not.
right, any of those kinds of things, and not having, a Nordhoff representative there, to date, no one knows really what is in this unified school district's mind about what is,
This is that question back to doing a study.
yeah.
What are they gonna
Yeah, they have to talk to,
There gotta be
yeah,
some assumptions and questions you need to ask to
Right.
even get to an outcome, and they have to reflect what we already know. And
right.
those questions have not been answered in any way other than maybe verbally at a meeting with non-specific
Right.
details, so.
So can I ask you to inform me as to how you would like me to proceed? Would you like me to set up a meeting with the city manager to talk about the contracts? I'm sort of at a loss about this, but I can certainly do that. I can certainly advocate for that.
Well, I feel kind of misled and wasted a bunch of my time. We had a lot of discussion about, as I recall, about having the city have its own pool and where it would be located. If the council had already made a decision otherwise,
They didn't make a decision otherwise.
Not
They
to
made a
study it.
decision not to spend money to study it
Oh,
because they
okay.
felt that,
Got
that the other options were easier to evaluate.
well, this is all news.
Yes.
And was any of this disclosed? Did I miss it?
Yeah, I can jump in.
Yeah.
So that day of the meeting, or the day before, I sent over the agenda and the PowerPoint,
Yes.
which showed everything that was going to be presented that day. So that's when they decided on it. So when we had and then that's when they decided to bring in your ad hoc committee to meet with the council ad hoc committee.
Right.
So when we just met, that's kind of why I jumped in and I said, I don't want to be throwing a wrench, but there's already 3 options that were chosen. And then they said, that's okay, we're just exploring. But that's what I really wanted to talk about, because I want your input on that so that we can bring it to the commission. But that's why I said that.
Okay.
So,
Well, I don't think
so-
Robert or I understood that. to
okay,
be the
so
case.
this was just the first meeting together. So then at the second meeting, I'm gonna probably have something from Lane 4 to show, and then we can bring to the commission, but I'm gonna have a lot more information at that time.
We haven't.
We
said it
haven't
yet.
said it yet.
90
But,
days.
but
so-
our ad hoc
jumping, right?
commissioners will be included in that.
Totally.
Yeah,
Yep.
okay.
So that's exactly what it was made for. And that's why we were having the meeting, but it kind of went off on a tangent. And that's why I threw in the wrench and said, we already have
There wasn't clarity,
Yeah,
though.
it wasn't that clarified. And especially if you didn't see the meeting, you had no idea at that point.
You said
So
you sent out an email about the meeting?
the documents, yes. So the whole group has the documents.
My email must be wrong again. No,
I don't
That's
know that I
okay.
got that either. When
I
did
didn't
that
get
go?
that.
I believe you reached out and asked for the documents because you heard that it was going to be at the council meeting.
Oh, that was not this last council meeting. You're talking about, when was this? This last Tuesday?
This
This-
was the
The
eight,
second?
no, this
Yeah,
was,
yeah,
this was,
not this week's. It was the week.
it was the 18th
Okay.
of November, I think, the 16th or
Yeah.
18th of November, that meeting.
Mm-hmm.
I did watch that meeting, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I don't mean to throw a monkey wrench,
Yeah.
but I just want you to be clear as to what was decided at that meeting and figure it into your processes.
Yeah.
And to assist you as your liaison, if you have, you have
Yep.
staff liaison that's actually probably much more, is a much better route to go than me.
Yeah.
So,
And also, I will keep you informed, especially when we bring it to the council. Maybe that is something that you would want to attend, which is what I was hoping.
It's been signed?
Oh,
The lane
nothing's
four?
been signed. So that's
Money's
what,
been allocated, but nothing's been signed.
correct,
Okay.
correct.
When does
Did I
that
see a
happen?
copy of the contract?
That I don't,
as soon as
that I don't
When
know.
it's-
Yep,
when it's ready to
of
be
course,
signed.
yeah.
Yeah, I'm not
course.
even sure what
So
the
just- so the-
parameters of that contract are.
So the clock hasn't started yet on the 90
The
days?
90 days clock.
Well, I know that we have tentatively scheduled February 26th as the return meeting.
To return.
So the
So
clock
I
has
would say the
started.
clock is starting very
Okay.
soon if it hasn't already.
Mm-hmm.
But I would say to your point, what is in that contract is very important because that's what they're going to be analyzing.
do, and
Yeah,
that's what they're using as their criteria, and
Right.
that sets out the
yeah,
structure.
exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Okay, thank you. Thank
You're
you,
welcome.
thank you.
Thanks for the clarification.
Okay.
So I agree, I appreciate that you've asked for the contract. I hope that you'll communicate that for
Of course.
us as
Yep.
immediately when
So,
that's done.
especially now that we've started the process, it's gonna be really easy to include everyone
I
in
think
it.
we absolutely need to find a January date. That's not right now,
Yeah.
but. Okay, well,
Okay.
thank you for your report.
Such as it was.
Yeah, thank you.
Appreciate- Well, it brought to light good
Yeah.
information,
And
for
hopefully you
sure.
guys can schedule a meeting soon.
Yeah, this is more information, this is information that I needed for the last
To
time.
move forward, yeah. Thank you.
Very good, thank you.
Want to say in closing, I'm very appreciative the fact that the mayor and Councilmember Whitman have already moved on meeting with you,
Yeah.
because sometimes things go months and months, and
It was,
I was appreciative that that has occurred, and so we should take that into account as well, that they moved on that as
definitely,
quickly as they did.
definitely.
All right, well, the work is started.
Okay, and moving on, Christy, we have a report on the field closures. I think
Yeah,
that was
so-
advertised in the meeting, but I just wanted it on the agenda so everybody would know to expect it.
Yep, so we are going to be closing the baseball soccer fields from January 1st to the last day of February for rest, let the grass grow again. Especially with all this rain, there's a lot of mud.
Yeah.
So that will be closed for that.
Thank you.
Can I ask a question on that? That hasn't historically been something we've done. We often had programming at that time. What's the impetus to doing it this?
You know, I heard that it has happened before. So I don't know if maybe it goes a few years, but sometimes there are big patches that are gone. And the best way to do that is let it rest and they treat it and then it grows back.
Okay.
So if you continually play in the same spots and don't let it rest, it just turns into dirt. So,
Very good, thank you.
yeah, you're welcome.
Okay, thank you, Christy. Any other commissioner reports? No? It's been kind of a long meeting, thank you.
Yeah,
I think we have plenty for our future agenda items, but does anybody have anything specific?
the CIP,
Yeah, that's definitely the CIP,
the whole.
for the everything,
parks
all
related
parks.
CIP.
Okay.
And then bringing back the electric.
Oh, yes, please make sure that we
Motorcycles.
get that scheduled. That's gonna be, I really am looking forward to the e-bike presentation. That's gonna have to be in February, February's
Yeah,
meeting.
Let's just capture it on our
Yes.
future agenda items.
We can work on it.
And then as things come up, yeah.
And I know you gave a wonderful report on that. Do you have anything else to add under 12 for liaison reports? Okay.
Just listening, it came up. Oftentimes, after council meetings and meetings, I go to Sarzati to decompress, and oftentimes, well, not often, but on occasion, there are kids with e-bikes doing wheelies on the grass, trying to deliberately make their mark on the grass. And I chase them off. But just to keep in mind, e-bikes and wanting the grass to grow and heal, you've got those kids that show up and they have a fun old time, just as an FYI.
Yeah, when there's no activities there.
Yeah,
it's,
at night, they go there, and it's a great time for them, but they leave,
A lot of damage.
Their marks.
yeah, they leave marks in the grass, if you want to do that wheelies on, the baseball diamond, that's fine, you go do it, but on the grass, that's
No,
just.
we're not suggesting on the baseball
not-
diamond.
we're
No,
not
sorry,
suggesting
my
that.
bad, my bad. No, I'm not. There is no hierarchy here of what's
No.
okay.
Yeah.
No, okay, that's the only thing I wanted to say.
Thank you. Okay, I have children to pick up, so unless there's anything else to report, I will adjourn the meeting.
Thank you.
Thank you.
8:15, that's a long one. Thank you very much.
Oh, yeah.
Lately.
Thank you.
Didn't used to be.